Hello, kind and gentle folk. How are we doing today? All right. Hold on. Let me see if I can. Can you all hear me? I have a new setup, so it's like just making sure that everything is okay. It doesn't look like we're at YouTube yet. Oh, there it is. Nope. There we go. Okay. So we are muted. We are here. Is anyone here yet? I'm not seeing chat. Hello, 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 hello. If anyone's out there, can you please post in chat so I can see what's going on? Okay, so that's going through on YouTube. I don't know why I can't see chat in Twitch. Oh, there we go. All right. Well, hello, kind and gentle folk. I hope everyone is doing well. I assume you can hear me. Can someone hear me? Well, hold on. Let me turn on my sound, and I'll see if I get a hello, hello, hello sound, and I'll see if I get a. All right. So, at least something's coming through. Is the volume okay? Is everything good? I can't really tell. No one? Anyone? All right. Well, so if you all want to upload models, the link is in the description. I am just going to sit here and work on this while we are figuring out what's going on with everybody. If anyone wants to. Hey, old man, how's it going? There we go. I always love it. It says there are people here, but no one ever says anything, so I never know if chat's working or not. Can you hear me? Is the volume okay? It's a new room. I don't have any of the volume set up yet, or any of the levels set up yet. Is that better? Anyone? Can you hear me? The old man? I'm assuming you can hear me. No one. Nothing. So I missed last week because I was moving, and so and the people who owned my house, my landlord, she died. Oh, good. And so I had to find a new place to live. And luckily, my coworker saved my butt and let me move into her place. But as we can see, definitely in a room. So it's not. What's funny is it's really not that much smaller than my older place without the kitchen. So yeah, it's funny, but that's okay. It's nice. Still don't have a place for the printers to be set up, but we're working on that. You know. So how you doing, old man? It says people are watching, but no one wants to chat. All right. If anyone has anything they want critiqued, just throw it up into chat, and we will go from there. At the moment, I'm just going to work on this until someone decides they want me to look at something. I don't know if anyone's been watching, but the AI world's blowing up. Is everyone stressed out about AI? I know a lot of people are really freaking out about losing their jobs and stuff to AI. I honestly think it's going to be middle management that loses their job before we do. Yeah, it's funny. As long as I can get internet and I have a place to sleep, set up my computer, I'm pretty easy at the end of the day. I mean, I still think the place in Seattle was one of the best places as far as like physical locations. What a fabulous studio it was. It was a great space. Mm-mm. Yeah, it's always fascinating. Move. Get a little bit more of that sneer going. I'm trying to get these done so we can make the model of it, and then we're also going to make an NFT of him, of the Trump and Elon tweet evil statue. Dude, I will make wagers that Renton and Santa Cruz make Sydney look like a dream vacation. Santa Cruz is the most expensive place to rent in the country. Do you know the 50, 30, 20 of Sydney? Hold on, let's see. What is... Yeah. What is the 50, 30, 20 budget in Australia? Okay, let's try this again. 50, 30, 20. aren't you annoying? Okay, let's ask. Where's ChatGTP? Come on. Come on. All right. Now, where's my headphones? Oh, does the... Oh, it's not on PCs yet. One sec. Okay. What is the 50, 30, 20 budget for Sydney, Australia?
The 50, 30, 20 budget rule is a popular and straightforward way to manage your finances by dividing your after-tax income.
No, I understand what it is. I'm asking, what is that number? What is the salary for Sydney, Australia? Come on. What is that?
In Sydney, Australia, the average annual salary is approximately $136,540.
136.
Based on profession and industry. For example, professionals in...
So the 50, 30, 20 for Sydney is 138. And for Santa Cruz, it's 187. It's crazy. And that's, oh my God.
Yes. Using the 50, 30, 20 rule for budgeting, the average salaries can lead to the different monthly allocations.
So yeah, it's madness at its greatest for sure. Yep, it's like no one's talking tonight. Hello? Anybody out there? I know it skipped a week. Now everyone's just gone. Nobody wants things reviewed. The crowd has become so fickle. What's happened, old man? Well, I mean, to be fair, I can sculpt all night. It's wild though. Anybody out there? Other than the old man? Literally, I've had one person say something to me. No one's listening. No one cares, the old man. It's very sad. Very sad. Alright. Yeah, so the joys of moving have been very exciting, and sorry for the weird camera angle. I'll sort things out. I literally just got the computer and internet stuff set up, so it's been sort of a race of getting everything ready to go. Has been a funny time. Nothing? No one? All right. Fine. Not a very talkative crowd. I get it. See, the problem is this is when I start talking, and when I just start talking, I rant, and then it's never good for anyone. Especially me. Get myself in trouble when I rant. Has anyone seen any of the 3D models coming out of the AI stuff? I know a lot of people are freaked out that it's happening. I don't know, I think it'll be a useful tool, like to do block ups, do your initial models and stuff. I think it could save a lot of time for like workforces, like some of the stuff I do at work. You know, it's not my art, so it'd be like, give me a rearing horse with a pumpkin head on it, or, you know, and then use that to start sculpting. I'm intrigued by that. I've really been intrigued by trying to get it to generate 3D textures, so I can quickly generate custom alphas. So like for at work, if I want, you know, let's say, what was it? Like German grotesques. Hey, Tomas. It's a pleasure to see you from Brazil. I'm glad someone at least is chipping in there for the communication. Once again, if anyone has anything that they want critiqued, feel free to put it up there. But if we just want to sit and chat and watch and chat, we can do that. I'm easy. Monday nights used to be very good for me. I wonder if I should go back to Monday nights. I thought I was going to come in and work during the day. So I could get some people from America in, because on Mondays it was mostly Asia and Europe. Yeah. So how is everyone doing this week? Anything exciting and new in your lives? Anything interesting? Hey, Paco Kwan, how you doing? What are you up to tonight? Anything interesting? Have any models to look at, or are you just coming in to hang out? It's a very lurky crowd tonight, which is okay. Yeah, so the camera and stuff I'll sort out next week or later this week. It's just been a race to get anything ready. The whole moving and then working and then moving and working through the moving and blah blah blah. It's madness. I was generating a whole lot of Elon as a chimpanzee. Hold on, let me see if I can find this. Here, let's see. So I was trying to get tileable scale patterns to get Midjourney to generate tileable scale patterns, like seamless. We were trying to generate backgrounds for some advertising. And then these were like German grotesques, and I was trying to get these to go into to create 3D alphas, so we could use them as quick scalable backgrounds. Just exploring stuff. But here, these are the Elon Musk as chimpanzee, and so my model was oh yeah, these are scalable, tileable, seamless patterns. Are they down here? Yeah, here's Elon is chimpanzee screaming. Elon as chimpanzee. Just so I can get an idea of the proboscis and stuff. But what's nice is getting the views. You can also use this as the in painting for the models afterwards. So it's a pretty good way of getting like some interesting skin textures and stuff to match the character. And yeah, a bunch of tileable, and these work. These are seamless, so it was nice to be able to use those. Like I was trying to get snake scales with eyeballs, right? Because that's a tricky thing to try to get. It's made. It's just stuff that's on top of it. There's just things sitting on top of it. My bed is totally made. Those are extra blankets. It gets cold at night. I could take the camera off and show you. I can show you everything. I'm not hiding my bed. See, just to prove it. Wait. I will not be besmirched. Hold on. See, these are just blankets sitting on top. And those are just pillows. I was trying to hide the light under the curtain so it wasn't so melodramatic and bright. Like I said, I have to work on the camera angle and stuff. See now? I will not be besmirched. Hold on, let me see if I can find. Where's the folder? Come on, folder. You can do it. Are you just not opening File Explorer? Oh, that's not good. Oh, there it is. I was like, how is just not going to open File Explorer? Hold on, let me see if I can. Oh, no, it is here. Trying to find. Oh, here. So the point, there's an app that generates alphas from the photos. And so you can generate, oops, that's the wrong thing. You can generate depth maps from the 2D image and then use those as alphas and stuff to kind of get, did I? Oh no, that's you. Okay. Yeah. And so I was just trying to generate a bunch of scales that are seamless and really unique. So it's fun because you really quickly can generate some stuff that you can use. You know, I mean, it's not like I use it on my art, but it's good for generating fast stuff for work and things like that. YouTube ZBrush. All right, there we go. Okay. Yeah, so it's, I mean, it's interesting. Elon Musk as a oh, damn it, I keep grabbing the wrong one. This was Elon Musk chimpanzee astronaut. Ridiculous. There you go. He's a little bit more chimpy in that one. Cohen, that's hilarious. Yeah. Yes, as a chimpanzee astronaut. Yes. That's what happens when you let me sit on my bed. So this is my TV, right? So I sit on my bed with the iPad and do Mid-Journey and just sit there and cry laughing. It's like, it's good humor. Yeah, so this is going to be Sea Evil. Sort of a begrudging, smudgy face. So we did. Does this have the see evil, speak evil, and hear evil? Where are they from? Oh, these are the chimp hands. From see, hear, and speak. One sec, I think I can find them. And there's, is this? That's Trump. And see, it used to say tweet evil, the old version did, but X bought Twitter, so I put X on it. So now it's Trump sitting on his golden toilet tweeting. And so that's tweet evil. And then we have... where'd they go? I know I have the old ones in here somewhere. Yes, if anybody wants to share anything for, hey Jeff, how's it going? People aren't very talkative tonight. and no one's uploaded anything for critique. So we're just sitting here going through tweet evil, speak evil, and hear evil. All right, let's see. What do you, oh yeah, so that's okay. You can see these are the Elons that are going to be the Elon chimpanzees. I think we have, where is chimp bodies? They got to be in here, right? Oh yeah, so this is roughly the quick breakup of chimp Trump, or chimp Elon. These are the base parts. Oh, I have all the other things turned on, but let's turn that. Is it this one? Yeah, his different sort of the sea evil hands. And then speak evil hands. Yeah, so it just started breaking up the heads to do the features. Yeah, it's hard. What are the Trump tattoos? All right, let's go over them. It's 45th bitches, and then there's Trump's tower, and then I love Putin in the style of Tintin, and then there's the P here, little shower style, and then there's tweet evil, and then I love Ivanka, Vanya, Melania, and then really he loves Donald, and then let's see, Ivanka, and yeah, that's the rough out. I have a model that's much higher res than this one, but it was sort of my fast Trump model to transfer over. This is really to get the measurements for the golden toilet. I think I was very kind to him, honestly, because he's actually a lot flabbier than this. But I was having respect for, you know, a president. It does look like a dune sandwich. Yeah, so Elon out there seeing evil. Where's his little chimp torso? There we go. Those arms probably coming out more. Yeah, just being playful. I figure if he can sell tennis shoes, I can sell Trumps, right? Or Elon monkeys. Yeah. Let's hope Maxon doesn't disapprove of me working on this. Like, Tomas, you're not allowed to do that. It's happened before. Not with Maxon, but yeah, something like that. Again, if anyone has anything to for me to critique, just throw it up, and the link is in the title. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask, and yeah, feel free to chat along and chitty chat. I guess stream save. Stream safe. Cool. It's probably much more interesting to look at your guys' stuff. Where are you? It's not uploaded yet. Cool. All right. But seriously, what are you guys thinking about all this AI stuff? I'm very interested in hearing what, because I know a lot of my students started to have sort of existential breakdowns about it. And then, I don't know, I don't see it that way. I don't see it quite as melodramatic as everyone else does. Nope. Still not there. Come on. Nothing. Man, it's a hard crowd to get talking today, boy. Yeah. Well, I think it's just how it's generating image, like how it's thinking about images. I think you're right. There's a very similar aesthetic. but you know, it's honestly, I find it fascinating. I mean, are people going to lose their jobs to it? Yeah, of course they are. But for the most part, I think it's going to be people who were sort of, it's going to sound hard, but mediocre. They're the people who are really going to lose their jobs. Honestly, I think it's going to steal a lot more like white collar jobs than creatives as of right now. Now, are people going to be able to generate, you know, just, I think graphic designers are going to get hit harder than most, only because some of the graphic stuff that's being done is, well, it's impressive. But I don't think, but it's coming soon. You know, like I said, I think if anything, AI is just going to help us because it'll be able to generate like low res. Like if I could go Elon as a chimpanzee doing his eye thing, da 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 da. Yeah, the video it's just, you know, it's how the machine thinks. So it is going to have, you know, pretty big similarities between the generation issues. But I mean, just for a sounding board, just sitting around and like bouncing ideas fast, it's a lot of fun because, you know, you can do Elon Musk as a chimpanzee screaming and you get like a bunch of different things, and I don't have to invest 50 million years in working up a base model and then trying different poses and trying different, you know, attitudes. And so I find it hilarious. I mean, you know, if you can't laugh at this stuff, I don't know. I think it's tragic for you. Because, like I said, hold on, where'd it go? Yeah, exactly. I mean, now that's when it's going to be crazy. Where is my Elon screaming? Yeah, here you go. I mean, come on. When you can generate things like Elon as a chimpanzee oh, where'd it go? Elon as a chimpanzee screaming? I mean, seriously. Hold on, where are these? Look at these things. These are hysterical. I mean, come on. That's just too good for words. Look at that. I mean, it's just too good. Right? I like that one. Ah! Oh no. That's just too good for words. It's super funny. Right? I mean, that's just good stuff. But I still think I'm very excited about it to generate like alphas in seamless tile patterns and things like that. So you can do something really unique, really fast. And like for my work, you know, they don't necessarily want artistry. They just want stuff pretty quick. So it's like if I can get the foundation of some ideas kicked out fast, you know, that's awesome. And then, you know, I come back in and I can sculpt on it, and it becomes something I didn't have to spend a ton of time blocking up. And you can get a bunch of different iterations fast. Yeah, no, I'm not too stressed about it. Like, wait till next week when it can do your job. It can do my job, but, or even if it does, it might be able to get to the point where it does my job, but it doesn't have my contacts, so I still feel pretty okay. Most of the people I know or that I work for don't want something you can put a seed number in and replicate, so I think as creatives we're still safe on that front. I do believe. I love everyone kvetching about AI training on their stuff. It's like, obviously, none of you have actually sold art because I get knocked off so often. You know, it's like, you know, it's not copying you exactly. Get over it. Everyone's like, oh, wait till it happens to you. It happens to me all the time. But it's real people who steal my stuff, not AI. Not AI. There's a, you know, those big ring books. One of them did my sugar skull and it gave credit to another guy. And I contacted them and they were like, well, when did you do it? And I was like, 2005. They were like, oh, well, see that picture. It says 1987 or whatever. I'm like, and I sent him a picture of his book and I put my name on the title of it and then put published in 1873. Is like, well, look, you know, obviously I had the rights to your book. Are you kidding me? Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, dude, that's really your answer. I think that's something I'm going to go after them with because it's just like they're affiliated with a pretty big jewelry company in France, and it's just like, I don't know who your buddy was, but you didn't do your research. And I'll come after you on that one. Because when I approach you with it, and you go, oh, well, he obviously did it first. I'm like, oh, hell no. You're all crazy. Crazy talk. Oh, let's see. Did it load? What's the name of the part? Because I'm not showing it yet. Kevin, does it say that it's uploaded for? Sorry, my camera's usually over here. I keep looking to the wrong direction. Does it say that it loaded the part yet? Oh, my back. Okay, I have one true. This is the best advice I'm going to give anyone ever. This is it. This is the ground level, absolute, ultimate advice. Don't get old. And once you are old, don't move shit. Ugh. It's been a week. I still feel like I've been beat to death. It's ridiculous. Getting fat and old sucks. It sucks. How long? Uh-oh. Wow, Kevin, now I'm not. Wait a minute. Okay. I turned 55 this year. Hold on, let me. Pixelogic crypt files. ZBrush. Wait, hold on. File requests. Pixelogic crypt files. View uploads. Is this? Hold on. Okay, I'm an idiot. Yeah, pretty much. All right. I have two. I have Vera and Tim. Sorry, I was stuck in a different window. You don't want to know. I'm just a big dork. A big old dork. All right, here we go. Let us come up here. Now, let's go to document. I've been trying a new I was trying a new color for my background at work because I like the dark blue, but my contrast wasn't really there, and I was having a hard time seeing see how you can really clearly see your edges with the contrasting color. So we're going to try that today. Yes. All right, duplicate. And then one ZTL. Let's go here. Extract. That's not it. Come on. Import. Oh, yay. He's back. Import. I just love me a gem. And then load tool. All right. So let us go. There we go. You know I'm a sucker for Earthworm Jim, man. Again, it's really nice contrast where the rock is busy and then he's not. I like your use of veins where he's very, very minimal, but they're there and it gets the point across. I don't remember if Jim's fingers were particularly pointy, but you might want to just give this a touch more belly. I could be wrong here, like you could be going off an illustration, so take this for what it's worth. Right, just so it has a touch of belly there. It looks like you sort of moved it and got the tip sort of twisted there. Yeah, no, it's a really nice model. I think, did you crumple it or something? It looks like you have some bending artifacts there. And then move topological. Make sure that sits in. You're not going to do it for me? Is that already joined? Ah, it is joined. Okay, my bad. Just make sure that that's actually crossing over. And at this point, I take SK twist, go to. Wait a minute. Is this like. 1 second. Okay. I was like, what's going on there? It was the wrong thing. All right. I'm like, where'd my menu go? So turn on that. Come back in. Give ourselves an edge. Give ourselves an edge. SK clay fill negative. Oh no, turn that off now. Just make sure your belts actually cross over. You don't lose that. Same here. Make sure that it's not going through these muscles. Make sure they have a little bit of peak there and a little bit of peak there. Just so you're not getting... make sure the muscle's defining the belt, not the other way around. Come on. Wow. Don't like that at all, do you? Come on. Why are you lagging like that? It might be trying to save. Gray screen await. What is going on? I don't know what that was about. Let's try and do something. It's tricky to get it to work once it's decimated without sort of re-smoothing the whole block, but I think you see what we're getting at there. Little thumb, his face is great. It really looks good on him. When you're doing your brush strokes, see how this crossover? I would say make sure you come back in and then cross over with the meat you know, just so you're not losing that to a single stroke. This hand's great. Gun looks good. Forearm's nice. Calves are good. I love the wrinkles in his leg still. Super nice. But here, this is where I say don't draw, because you've done such a nice job all the way till you got to here. Like all those wrinkles and stuff, you didn't just cut it in, and then you just drew these lines on here. What are you doing to me? You're killing me here. Killing me, Smalls. Make it layered. Don't, right? Because now it looks like at least use the edges of your clay tubes to build the line. Don't just cut them in. And if you want it to be super, super, super accentuated, use twist and just come along that edge and twist it up. And that's creating a scoop there. And you'd be like, Tomas, but you just drew a line in. Nope, because we're going to come back in. Turn that off. Turn that off. And now we're going to use the layer to tell that story, not a line. See the difference in how those two things read? Does that make sense? And let's say you want it to be level, then come back in and just make sure, do it with edges. Don't try to cut them in because you just lose your surface continuity horribly when you're just trying to cut them in. Right? I love this. This is really nice. Very subtle, very good. Get rid of those little seams. I don't think they're intentional. If they are intentional, then ignore me, but they look like where a mask was bent or folded or something. Yeah, you can see that they're here too. Again, make sure your belts are going over one another. See, now I'm going to start to get really persnickety here. So you can see how this is here, right? And is it all one part? Auto group. No, it's not all one part. Oh, it is all one part. Okay. So, one sec. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, just trying to make sure that I am keeping up with chat. So here, this part's separated, and then it cuts off before you get to your belt, right? So these are the little finishing details that separate, a fabulous piece from a good piece, or a good piece from a fabulous piece, as it may be. So just make sure, before you go at it, that you come back through and just make sure that, these are telling the same story. Because just a little thing like that, if you're showing this to someone, like for a portfolio piece or something, these are things that I notice and remember. It's like, oh, you spent all this time and energy on this and you didn't bother, making sure that the little hook went over the belt. Just dumb stuff like that. And you can have a world-class model that just has a few of these things, which just seem, they just seem sloppy, as opposed to going through, focusing, and making sure that everything's just like right on that point, And the reason I'm being this persnickety on you is because the piece looks great. Don't let it, fall apart on silly things like that. Right, just making sure little things like that are clean. And I probably mentioned this the last time, but just think about taking like SK trim polish or something, and just every once in a while coming through and just knocking some of the detail back, just like where there may be like a rub spot or something, especially if you're going to go into, a miniature or a figurine or something, because the noise or the chatter just becomes a lot, and the eye needs a place to rest. So just think about finding a couple places, where it's like rubbed off, or, there's just a slight area that's not just 100% just blowout texture. And you can really start to define your form by that. You don't lose the form, you start to like define the shapes, because they become almost like outlines or something, where you're starting to see the general overall rhythm of the piece, as opposed to it just being, blowout in texture. Something to think about. Right. Okay. Wow. Quiet. Quiet, guys. You're all quiet. Okay. Other than that, yeah, definitely come back and make sure that these intersections are nice, tight, and clean, I think, is really the only issue is here. Eliminate some of the texture, just give it some resting spots so there's, some directionality and just some rhythm to this stone. Because there's no stone in the, well, okay, can't say that. Maybe like right at a volcano or something. But there's no rock that hasn't been tumbled or hit or wind or rain, so everything being so exquisitely sharp and even just doesn't happen that much. We're gonna Just want it a little darker. Okay. There we go. Yep, looks great. Any questions on that one? Brog. At least I know you're down to participate. Let's look at our turtle pendant. Yes. Okay. This one's decimated as well. Yeah. I'm just going to dynamesh this real quick just so I can do some fiddle fuddling. Undo. Undo. Mark that history. Come back. Now we're going to project history. Just to make sure everything's sharp again. Is that a gladiator helmet with a face? Or is that a lumpy guy with a mohawk? So the one thing I would say, I love your transitions. They're really fun. Obviously, you stretch this up. Just make sure to come back in. It looks like you raised it so it would close over more. Where you had more prong height. Clean it up. Don't let those little ding-a-lingy things sit there. That's hysterical. Because you know those gladiators, some blushy fellas. Also, come back in. Make sure your interiors are flat and level. Let's do this. Just so we don't pull anything up and through. And I'm just using trim front. And then when I get down here, I'm holding Alt. And that brings it up. But you notice I masked the back of this because this could be really aggressive. Okay, there you go. So the easiest way to clean that stuff up is to go to Sculptress Pro and just run over these corners. In that weird pinching after you pull that out. And obviously we're blowing a few holes in this. That's okay. Coming back through and getting rid of those pinches. If there's anyone out there that wants their pieces critiqued, the link is in the title of the stream. And I'm sure one of us can post it in the chat directly if that's what you're looking for. All right, so there. Just come over and close holes. I like, in this, I like the open circle algorithm better. But if you're just trying to close the top of something, I would use the other one, the closed circle, only because like if you use the open circle on something that has a flat top, it sort of bows. It distorts some. Where I think that this works better for closing holes, in this case, like, on complicated surfaces. Okay. Now, the only thing I would suggest here is I would continue the head in front of the hole. So you get the shape of the head, right? Let's take clay tubes. We're going to bring it in and oh, do I not have symmetry turned on? Great. And then that way, instead of it just looking like you punched a hole in the head, see how we start to, even if it's seen, like if you're wearing it and it's seen from this angle, you're going to get this reflective surface that is showing like that's the edge of the mouth. And it helps clarify edges so it doesn't, it's intentionality is what it is. It looks like you've made a decision to make this something, as opposed to, well, I got it like done and then I just punched a hole in it, if that makes any sense. And then you can even give it the the bottom lip, and like you can make that a element. And then at least that way, it just shows that you're thinking about the finish. Here. Okay. Damn it, Jim. Stop. My keyboard has been so beat to snot. All right. I always liked how Godzilla's snout was very turtle-ish. And see, that way it at least looks like you've thought about it as a finish. Um, mm, sorry, my mom. Mom wins. There we go. I don't know. Does that make sense to you? Yeah. If you just load your part up on the link that's under the the title thing, you know what I'm saying. There's a link in there. Upload that, and I'd be happy to look at it. Thank you, Jeff. Right. So at least that way it appears as if you've contemplated the finish of the part as opposed to just blowing a hole in it. That's the only thing I'd say with that. Flatten it. Get your little edges clean. Your texture and everything's fun. I will say that these toes are probably going to hurt really, really bad wearing it. So you might want to think about let's see, what could you do? If you do something like this. So I'm just riffing here. This is not necessarily the best answer, but it's going to give us something to look at. Now I am twisting that oddly. Hold on. No. Stop that. Stop it. Twist. Oops, wrong way. Oh. That's a bad angle. Damn it. Okay. For some reason. You get where I'm going with this, though. Alright. Because right now, what you have are these 4 claw points are the only place this is resting against the body, right? That is going to be very painful. So, so I'd say just make sure that the belly is lower, and I would say fairly flat. And you might have to exaggerate a little just so you are not so those claws are above the body And you see how I'm bringing this out like that? That'll provide an area where it's not rocking down onto the torso. So just make sure that those legs are kind of above the belly. And it might look weird from the side, but you got to figure that you're going to see it from the bottom or from the top. You're very rarely going to perceive it, you know, at 3/4. And just make sure it's a nice flat surface so it won't rock. And then you can come in and incorporate, you know, right? You can see how that'll help keep the claws off of the body. Thank you, Max. I appreciate it. Right. And I think that's going to do it. You might want to fill the tail in just a touch. And, whoa. And what I mean by that is, again, just from the side, it'll look a little silly. But what you're doing by filling it in, like from the top, you're not going to notice, right? And like from the bottom, you're not really going to notice. But what you've done by filling this in is it's no longer actually a needle, right? Because that's something that'll destroy sweaters, it'll destroy shirts, it'll destroy your sternum. So if you keep it then from the front, but, you know, keep it lumpy and sort of pillowy on the side, it's going to make that a much safer object. Because right now you got to figure, what is that? That's only... Come on. W, Y, there it is. Yeah, I mean, that's still less than a millimeter thick, right? So if that comes to a point, you're going to harm someone. And similar for here. If you... Nope, that's not what we want. Like mask it from your front view. And then why is that not? Oh, that's why it's not back face masking. Let's do it this way. And do the same sort of sculpt your, whoa. Right. So it looks the same, but once again, you can see they're not sharp if you make them sort of all the way through. So I just come through and make sure that these claws aren't actually claws. And then, yeah. Otherwise, and all together, it looks absolutely awesome. I love it. I like it. It's looking good. Any questions? One, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5. About 5-second lag. Okay. Sometimes it's like a 2-minute lag, and I'm like, any questions? And then I get frustrated, and then it's like, nope. All right. If you have any questions, we'll come back to it. All right. It's really interesting. I like how, excuse me, I like your anatomy because it's still quirky, but anatomically speaking, it's good. But you've done some really neat sort of nodular stuff and shortening this muscle down to a little hump, and because I mean, you know your anatomy. Don't be scared, especially if she's this thin. There is a solid gap here, especially if you're this emaciated. Because this muscle actually cuts back in. Why is my symmetry not working? Because I have it set on the tool and the tool is not centered. Right, because what you have going on here and then because often, especially people who are really skinny, you can see their buttocks through the legs. Like from the front, often you're going to see, and I'm dealing with skinny people now, right? But you'll often see the butt cheeks connecting through the crack in the legs. but come on. Definitely look at the shape of this muscle because it definitely comes in. And then that crossover in is usually the buttocks is what you're seeing. Not that muscle coming in, right? Because this has a return usually. You know, there's that going on. That's all happening back here. Yeah, you're pushing this armpit up a little far, but it looks like you're still just blocking that. It doesn't look like you've gotten into it because, as I said, you obviously know your anatomy. Give me some geometry there. Your armpit. Your bicep splits there, remember? That goes up and under. Come on, what are you doing? Just remember that it goes bicep, pec, delt, right? There's that intersection there. And yes, your bicep does connect back up in here as well, but it really dives under all that for the most part. And then you have your rib. This rib's a little low. But that's okay. So just remember your ribs are diving up under here. Yeah. Obviously, you can re-split that. I'm just trying to get the layers clean and clear. And then your rib. Shoop, 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 shoop. And your striators. And then your lat. And you have this way up. And we're kind of ditching your armpit. And I know the anatomy's quirky, but these planes are real important. Because it's so much of the silhouette, right? Right. And then you have here. Shoot. And I simplified that and made it clear and simple, right? So that's that. These come in here. But that's kind of your silhouette. This is diving a little fast. What are you doing? It's so laggy. There we go. Right. That face is interesting. I can't wait to see where you go with it. And I know you're still roughing it in, but be careful about that armpit, because losing the armpit's important. All right. Any questions? All right. I think that's everybody. Oh, hold on. Let me check ZBrush Live to make sure who's scheduled today. Sometimes Oscar's behind me and I don't want to jam out his time. Yeah, no, okay, good. We are goodly. Okay. We're fine. Okie dokie. Awesome. I hope you do. Because that's everybody, right? All right, Jeff. Max, do me a favor. Talk to everyone. I got to pee real quick. I'll be right back. Let's go potty. Okay. Woohoo! You know what? I don't know why I even have headphones on because no one's making any noise. The headphones are so... Oh, I know. Just system sound. I have a horrible ground fault. It's so annoying. So if I go through my speakers, it's just like... I think my ears are bigger than these cones. Okay. Where's my glove? There it is. Of course I still have time. I looked in there. Hold on. Was it uploading? Hold on, let me check. Is it still uploading? Because all I see are... What's the name of the model? What's the name of the model? Robin. What is your model name? Wait a second. You know what? This is getting old. I don't know. 520. Wait a second. Am I just like completely losing my mind here? 521. 521. Were those models that have been seen before? Did I just critique models that were Fawn 37? Okay, hold on. I think that I think we have some issues here. Download. Fucking weird. Okay, let's go to downloads. Delete all. Delete all. Okay. Folder. Okay. Oh, these are the similar models. Okay. Woo woo. Alrighty here. Let me do this real quick. W. And now we're going to go new folder. Yes. That way, everything that's open is in this folder. And that way, when I turn things on and off, I'll be able to find them again. Okay. Oh, wrong one. There we go. Okay. What do we have? Okay. Sorry, it took me a second to. Where are? You're down here. Okay. Now everyone should be there. Oh. Okay. I guess my space mouse is not hooked up. Okay, with bark, let's start here. This is a little fleshy for bark. Pablo has some fabulous bark tools. Sorry, I keep looking this way. For like the last year and a half, my brushes have been, or my camera's been over here, so I'm looking the wrong way and my camera's pretty far away, so you all deal with it. So Pablo, if we go to brushes, and we go to brushes, Pablo has some really good bark brushes, and I would highly recommend them. His textures are really, really, really nice. And just see how it adds like that little crispness that that your bark's pretty soft or pillowy. So I would work on getting something to get them a little more barky so they don't feel so soft. Now, if you're not in the vein for buying brushes, another thing I do in using bark is I use crumple. And so I'll come through SK Trim Polish or one of my flat polishing brushes. I'm going to come through and I'm going to flatten stuff out. And that flattening is removing sort of the pillowiness. Now I'm doing this quick and pretty aggressively, you know. And now we go to a crumple, which is in here somewhere. Where is it? And normally I do it in a couple directions. One, I'll do it sort of up and down first just to get sort of a rhythm. And you can see it's starting to generate some noise. And then what I do is I go back and forth. And then you can kind of trail up. And like if you have little areas you really want to kick up, doing circles around it, see how it sort of amplifies everything. So directionality is back and forth. The bigger you sweep, the bigger the, see, little sweeps, big sweeps, little sweeps, big sweeps. And you can get, you know, sort of that corky bark feeling, big sweeps, And then you can come back in and kind of polish over some of that stuff and then use those as guidelines for your barking. But see how that keeps it sort of crispy and crunchy as opposed to pillowy. So consider... Oh, thanks. I'm glad, Mooncake. I appreciate that. I mean, end of the day, that's really why I'm out here. You know, it's like I feel when I was introduced to ZBrush, it really opened up a lot for me, and so I want to get people, you know, excited and going and all of that. I really think a lot of new people, when they actually launch the iPad stuff, I think that's going to open all this up for a completely new market of people as well. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, that's why we're out here. Inspire, right? All right, and so then, and then once again, I'll use twist because I just like the separation it gives me on stuff. So if I have things that are, hold on, let's give you one more division here. Just so it feels like it's actually going into things. And this is a little big. But you can use this to kind of punch the edges of your bark and give it sort of that it's going into things, right? We're going to do that, and then that'll give it right, and then that really feels like it's going in. Now I'm doing it framing it. Now if you really want it to feel like it's punching through that, then I would come in and really sort of define this as a plane. Let's define that as a clear plane. And then we'll kind of go around it just to give it a little puff. You can also come in with inflate. And if you'll notice where I'm stroking with the inflate, I'm doing most of my stroking in here. I'm taking my action circle or my focal length and just having that be right on the edge. And you can see that now sort of has it penetrating in. Now I'll come back through with twist. And you can punch that back and behind. And you know, you can make it feel like it's really ripping out there. And then come back in with clay tubes and kind of punch that feeling up. Right, so one's fitting in between, the other one's like cracking through and plunging. So just however you want it to interact, you know, don't be afraid to get in there and spend the time. Because these little intersections, just like we were talking earlier, it's the clarity of intersections like this that separate just absolute world-class pieces from really good pieces. You know, it's that attention to detail and how it's breaking in. Is it squeezing in between the cracks or is it blowing through them? Turn symmetry off so you're not doing it to both sides. All right, so now let's come to this again here. This is okay, but it sort of feels like gnarly scar tissue as opposed to it really punching and ripping through. And I just think it's a slightly large texture for the feeling. Hold on. I want to turn symmetry off so you can look at both sides. Mm. Yeah, we're gonna kind of cut that back up again. Stop it. And again, how you decide these edges are mm-mm. I don't know if that makes a difference to you, but see how here, let's do how to do this. Let us duplicate. Actually, let's just go back here for a second. Just come all the way back to here. Wow, you are being pokey. Dum, 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 ba-doo, ba-doo, doo. Okay, we're gonna make this our history state. We're gonna come back to here. I am come back to here. Come on, you. So you can see when I'm cutting mine in, I'm trying to make them like little folds and little layers, where when you just cut it in, it gets puffy, right? And that puffiness then becomes, it's pillowy as opposed to it being flesh. Now you can see that I've smoothed all this out. So all I have to do is take my history brush. I'm going to turn the Z intensity down so I can creep up on it. Turn symmetry. What? Symmetry is not active. Okay. And so now I have it back. So it's smoothed all that out. And you can come in, and back here where we really weren't changing much, we can, now, will morph work? Yeah, morph will work for us. So I like morph better than history, only because it is morphing, so you don't get some of the directionality pull and distortion when you're doing it. But you can see you can come back in and get some of that back even after I flattened it out, right? But we went back to some of the puffy stuff. So here again, just take SK Trim Polish and knock those puffs out, and it will feel less puffy. Now the other thing, so here's the real thing too. If this is for rendering, fine. I know I keep looking this way. I'm showing a lot of the black in my head because I'm looking the wrong way from my camera. But if you plan to go to miniature printing, make this your rendering model. But then when you create a printing or a manufacturing model, again, just sort of come back in and just, let's get a big one and turn this down. Nope, turn it down a lot more. And knock some of the texture off. Like on high points or just in general, just around. And do it randomly. Don't use symmetry. And what that does is it makes where there is texture important. And then where there's no texture or a variation in texture, it reads much better in 3 dimensions. Because if you just put texture on everything, for rendering it's fabulous. For printing, it looks like the surface is just sandpaper. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't look right. So you can come by, and I tend to just think of it sort of as high points. Just come in and just touch up some of this where you're just flattening some of it around. And so if you look here, right, and then you look here, it's not a huge difference, but once it's printed into a model, it's a massive difference. So just something to think about. You keep turning off your eyeball in the eye. Remember, when you're doing single eyeballs, though, to make sure that they do have the lid and the bag both. So it's not just a floating eyeball. There's still meat behind it. Because technically, that's created from the eyeball in there. So, don't be afraid to put it there. Just so it's not just open. It feels like it's more coming out of something. Yeah. It looks great. Which headset is that? I'm not sure. I like how big the nose is. It's nice. It's an interesting silhouette. You might want don't collapse the nose. Don't push the nose in too far. You can pull it out, but you don't want to collapse the cheekbones and stuff. Because then it looks like the nose is punching into the skull, which, I mean, unless that's particularly your idea, I wouldn't. I would probably continue this up here a touch. Just so it feels like, I'm just going to do one side here. Because this muscle comes down and fills this little area here. Because see how it looks here, like this is just diving back and in. Here, this feels a little bit more like how the muscles on a nose actually work. So you're just attaching it just a little bit more there. It's real subtle, it's just right here. It looks great. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't know. I thought you meant what headset this was from. I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, these are the Baron Dynamics. They're the 900X or something. Hold on, I have no idea what they are. DT 900 Pro X. It's funny with my earrings, my ears, the Sennheiser are a little longer. I have those at work. Also, well, that helps some too, because I had them twisted back a little. But my ears, with my earrings, are a little longer than them. Yeah, looks great. I like it. All right, so now we have Kevin. It looks like a really tired Mario. The hat kind of looks like Mario's. Mario. Let's turn paint off so we can see our model here. It looks really nice. Here again, instead of using like a cut-in line, I would definitely use twist on these, because it gives you, oops, wrong direction. It gives you a nice edge without it becoming a trench. The other thing I found when I'm doing things like this, SK cloth has gravity to it, and I tend to kick the gravity strength up, and then you can sort of, hold on. There you go. So if you kick up the gravity strength and just change this angle where it's pointing down, you can have it point down into a direction if you want. But so you can get that really wrinkle feel. See how it feels like it's kind of going over the edge there? and that's because the directionality of the push, right? So if I want to come in here, and you can see that these are coming out some, right? So if you change the gravity direction to straight down, see how it's going in, right? The gravity is going exactly, see how it's going in and then out there. So if you go through and you really tune where the directionality of your gravity goes, here, let's divide this up one more time. You can do some really cool things, like in here, you can have it going this way and then have it turn into it over there, right? And so you can really do some cool wrinkly stuff with gravity. And then like if you flip it the other direction, see how it's cutting in there, but then it's sort of pulling up there, right? So here you can reverse it where you have it sort of going in that direction. I don't know if that makes sense, but I tend to like to do wrinkles with a gravity brush, and it really gives you a little bit more of that floopy thing as opposed to just cutting lines in. Yeah, no, gravity is absolutely wonderful. I love it. I futz with gravity all the time. And let's see. Like there's some good brushes. I think this is one of Pablo's brushes. What is this? Yeah, this is one of Pablo's deep cut fold. I think this might be a fabric brush. But I really like, so see the profile, see how it has two lips on it. And like for wrinkles and stuff, I tend to like this one a lot because you're getting weight in them. And then if you do something tricky with gravity, like kick it up, it gravitizes on itself, right? See how you're like getting really interesting sort of weights. And the other thing to remember is that gravity is screen, right? It's world gravity. So let's say you want it to cut really deep here, but then if you do this, see how it pushes out, right? So you can tilt your model to get, you know, kind of what you want it to be doing. You know, you can really control what it's doing. I know that was a little extreme, but I think you get what I'm saying. And now with hair, I know you just roughed it in, but let me show you some with hair. Because right now the hair, let's go to here. Let's duplicate this. Let's turn that off. Let's smooth this out real quick. I'm going to dynamesh it to homogenize that mesh. Actually, let's Z-remesh it. And that way we can get some geometry in there. Yeah, the one cool thing about these aerodynamic stuff is that you can buy This one. Glasses. Ugh. You can buy is this the one? Yeah. You can buy it'll plug into your iPad and your new Apple phone with the C in it. But it's for and see it has that. It's the phone connector one. So it's designed to work with the iPad and the cell phone. So you can have really good stereo in your iPad and for your phone. All right, so here we go. We have our basic phone. So I'm going to divide it up. And I'll show you the reason. So right now we have, hold on. Why is it not smoothing? We're here. Okay. Divide. Okay, there we go. I like having a quad mesh for things like this because it gives you a little bit more control over your mesh. And now, let's divide it one more time. I'll tend to use clay tubes. I'll come in and I'll set the rhythm of the hair. With the brush. And so I know that these hairs are kind of starting here, right? And then those are coming there and sort of there. And you can see I'm starting to set the crossover rhythm for the hair. And this just gives me flats to deal with. And so why I like having the high resolution here is because as I'm laying these lines in, you can see I have smooth on. And I can come back, but all the lines stay there. But if I really want to change it, I can lower my res down here and I can go, okay, well, I want this smoother, da 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 da. And so that's important. We'll talk about it later. We'll come back in. We're here. And then I'm going to sort of define this underside here. It's like, okay, how choppy do I want it, you know? No, this has gravity still cranking. I'm like, why is that acting so weird? Right? And now I'm just following that surface rhythm that I created. And now I'm kind of getting it there. Okay, so now I have the rhythm of that hair. And then I use twist again. And then you can kind of come in. Oops, too much. And then you can go back the other direction and sort of define both sides, right? And so kind of coming and you can kind of, and it's just a real quick way of defining sort of your hair plaits. Uh-oh, I just touched my history bar. I see how you are. Right, and then, you know, you don't have to take it very far, but this will let you kind of define your plats. And you just go in different directions. And you get a pretty fast breakdown of sort of what, you know, your edges are. And that gives you something that feels a little bit more like hair quicker than just the carving in that you were doing. The hat looks good. Make sure that when... Is that pushed in? So remember, things like leather bands and stuff, they don't just change shape, right? But like you want it to feel like it's moving. So what you can do is pull this out, and then you can take, see, like I'd be real careful. I would make sure, first of all, that you have that separation lip, so it feels like it is a consistent surface sitting on top of the other thing. Otherwise, as it dives in, you lose what's happening there, right? So if we come back to here, we need to pull this up and out so it has the same thickness right there. And then pull that out. So you want to make sure when something is going over something else that it is actually going over it, and then it is actually going under it, so you don't lose track of stuff. But like here, you sort of got thinner there. So if you pull this out more and then cut this back in, what's going on? Why am I not? I have something set weird. What's going on? Is it just, oh. So it can come out and then sort of cut back in. And that little fold is sort of explaining why it's changing shape on you, right? Because it can come out and then come down, because then it's bending forward, right? But you're not just going to get a pinch in there. You know, it's not going to change thickness without going somewhere. So if it's going to get, you can take it down as far as you take it out, but the length of that shouldn't change, right? So then you could turn that into, let's say, a hard fold or something where it's, you know, if it were more fabric or something, you could do that, and then that would change the directionality and thickness up here. But then you'd have to just come up and make sure that that does something like that, where you're coming away from the hat, and that would explain why it's going down. Otherwise, try to keep those consistent and make sure they're an even thickness away from the hat, just so it feels consistent. Because those consistency issues, once again, are the things that are the difference between fabulous sculpts and good sculpts. The hat goes. Shirt looks good. Obviously, when you get down to it, the shirt needs to actually be resting on, or the collar needs to be resting on the shirt. and you know, there's not that much airspace in the actual collar, but you obviously, I mean, you've placed this. It's not, so I'm not gonna jump up you for that. No, it looks really good. Have any questions about that? Oh, you may want to, this looks a little solid. Just make sure that it reads like it's flabby instead of bulgy. Instead of making those things puff out, just give it a slightly inner tint, and then that way it doesn't feel like a weird muscle or something. You can probably play with gravity on that as well. Just so it doesn't look solid, so it doesn't look like a goiter. Other than that, it looks great. Well, it looks great with that as well. Just any questions there? Uh-oh, we got a number of different things here now, don't we? Anything? Anyone? Words? Things? Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Come on. Uh-oh. Okay, hold on. We want this to be load tools from project. Okay, got a couple tools in there, but not horrifying. And then 7S critic, big boy. Big boy. Jeff the chef. So Jefferson, do you like the brown background? Pooh Brown. Baby Pooh Brown. Oh. The gray screen of weight. Oh, it's still loading that file. Okay. So who was first? Let's look at this here. Okay. So you were first. Oh no. You were first. No, that's Cybergirl. That's Jefferson. Right? Yeah. You were first? No. Not that. So then we have this. Okay, that is a different character than this one, right? Yes, they're different. They were just large and sort of similar body shapes. Okay. So this is our guy. First things first, we go W, turn on multiple thingamabobs, go new folder. All right. Okay. How'd you get in there? Don't know. Okay. Let's turn paint off and look at our model. Yeah, we'll look at it in a second. Okay. Let's look at your anatomy real quick. Oh, the character is really nice. Kind of reminds me of my friend Tony. I like the bulk where he's more like a power lifter, so you're not really getting the waistline where it's bulbous. That's nice. People try to get both of these together where they get that hefty power lifter midriff, but then they throw a waist in there. Then it makes things look pregnant. It doesn't make them look solid. So the clothes look like they're just blocked in at the moment. I'd say that when you do get to it, make sure that the belt is tight, you know, that this is all filled in, but it doesn't look like you're there yet, so that's fine. I like your hand technique. Is this oh, I'm having a total brain fart. Yeah, whatever. But this is a nice finger posing technique. Your muscles are blown out, but the anatomy looks good. I mean, they're intended to be blown out. I'm not, you know, good. Here again, though, because see, you're drawing on your surfaces. I would say that we're going to divide you up a little. So this is why I sculpt with clay tubes, and I tend not to, come on. I try not to draw on my surfaces or use cut lines because it separates my surfaces. And so like even on these, let's come here. So you've drawn that line in. I find that using higher resolution and get my clay tubes down to like 2, so it's very soft. Instead of drawing that line, I would come in and do it where this is on top. That's coming from under, and then it crosses over. And then this is under that. And then it crosses over and becomes over here. And by not drawing that in, but by doing it with layers, I'm really telling that under-over story much more clearly. And then also the layers that are going under something are going under it. Things that are crossing over are crossing over. And it allows you to get a really nice feeling for the layers that are happening, right? So and then and you can see I'm building the muscle shapes. I'm not cutting them out of the surface. And it allows you just to creep up on these forms. And then they become like subtle, but the lines are clear. What's happening is clear, right? Like here, that comes over and around, so that's behind it. But it's over here. And you're like, okay, well, this is sitting on top of that. But it comes and goes behind it here. And you can see I have not cut a line into anything, but I'm getting really nice, well-defined forms. And the feeling of my muscles are a lot more subtle because they're kind of doing what I'm telling them to do, but I'm not just cutting lines in and stuff, right? You know, it's like, okay, so that comes in and does that. So I want that to dig in there, so I'm going to make it dig in. Does that make sense? And then that way you're actually building the over-under feel. It's not just lines cut into surfaces. Oh no, does that make sense? Um, I just think it winds up with forms that feel nicer than just cutting in lines, right? Instead of cutting a line under the peck, we bring the peck and I use my clay tube's edge to build that up. And then I can always either use adjust and punch it some, or hit one and redo it a few times. Clay fill. And you notice I'm leaving that lip there. And then I'm just going to come back in. You can fill the feeling of the peck. Right? And I never had to cut a line in, but I have very distinctive folds, right? And then you can, you know, build it up as you will. But I just find using clay tubes, and instead of cutting lines, just defining them with the edges of my tools, keeps you sculpting a little more as opposed to drawing on the surface. Yeah. Oh, did y'all hear that? I know. It's not good. Okay. Love him. He looks great. He's a lot of fun. Okay. Yeah. Cyber girl. On Pixelogic's download, there is Mod Dirty Blue 1. And this is Mod Dirty Blue 1. I like it the best because for printing, it allows for, like, the lines I put on there, I know that I'll... Here I go. I'm looking at this side. It's ridiculous. The lines I put on, I know that they'll be there. So, yeah, Ma Dirty Blue 1. Let's see, is there a link? Matcap library. If you go to Matt, it's the fourth one down, I think. Oh, no. Oh, there it is. My Dirty Blue 1. Does that work? Oh, well, at least it takes you to the Matcap library. And yeah, so Matt, and then scroll down. Oh, it's the fourth one from the bottom. I knew it was 4 something. And then the first one, My Dirty Blue 1. Of course. All right, so let's look at what you got. What's going on with this? Wow, you went to town, didn't you? Hold on. What did I do? Did I kill it? What did I hide? Alright, let's try that again. Load tool. Side girl. There we go. So you're saying how for cyberpunk, any ideas on how something look mechanical even if it doesn't make sense engineering? Yeah. So you mean like this stuff right here in the face? Look, it did it again. Do I just have a... is clay tubes just huge? 1 second. Yeah. That's what happens when you have a monstrous brush. Well, I think you're on track here. Z-remesh. So I guess before I get too squirrely with things, I tend to try to, I think, just be slower in your development, in the sense of, okay, and if you hide the face mask, oh, back up in here. Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay. Well, let's start out here. Okay. So in your conception, sort of take a little bit more time and work into your forms. So decide like a basic form first. You're like, okay, so I know I want that cutting back into the face, so we know that this edge has to be low. I might want something round in here. So now you start defining your planes. And you can get rid of stuff for a second so you can just analyze your planes. The thing is, planar flattened line is a really good way of just throwing in some planes that you know are going to be just that, planes. So now you've started to kind of get things that are feeling a little bit more mechanical in your block up. And then you can take planar and knock some of your crossing edges off. right? And you just sort of kind of creep up on your forms. And then sort of where is my laziness zoomer? Uh, boom. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Stop it. And then, you know, maybe find some place where you're going to repeat your curve or something. Mm-mm. And I tend not to get too mechanical first. I just want to get my rhythm in and kind of get sort of what I feel, you know, kind of the flow. Yeah, and just slowly come in, build up what you're thinking, and for mechanical stuff, the one thing you want to sort of view it as is panels, like things that are going behind and in front of things. It's like, okay, well, why is that coming in front of that? Okay, well, that's sort of holding that one in place. All right, so, you know, think about that. And then there might be a key in it or something where you're like, okay, well, it's going to cut down like that. And then this is going to be where it's residing and blah, 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 blah. And then once you get your forms and stuff in, you can come back in with trim polish or one of those things and really just pop your shapes. Right. So I would just say, just think of things sitting on top of things, things that are covering things. If this is a round turbine sort of thing, this can become something that is around it. It sits and then, keys in here or something. So now that's going underneath that. This is sitting on top of this stuff. And that's doing that. So that's sitting on top of that and keying into that. Just think about it a little more and think about then, okay, well, I want that and I want that coming in. And you're like, okay, well, maybe these are vents because it's so they can breathe or blah, 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 But just kind of. No, this is. You mean this? It's one of Sakaka Kaoru's brushes. It's called SK Trim Polish. And it's super nice because it doesn't roll over edges. See how it's sort of retaining that edge? Like I come up here, I can really flatten a lot of this out. But it doesn't roll over the edges. It tends to keep the edges. So one of Sakari Kaku's brushes. So like for fast hard surface stuff, like when you're trying to retain edges, it's the best brush to retain those edges and flatten stuff. I assume this was brush you're talking about. Right, see how nice it is. It's a good one. Sakari is a really good brush maker as well. He and Pablo kill it as far as making brushes go. I tend to just buy their brush packs and then just change my alphas and stuff because trying to get the brushes to react well is tricky when you're trying to make your own brushes. It's been 18 years and I'm still crappy at making brushes. Well, to be fair, I haven't really given it a shot. I'm like, why should I when all these people make beautiful brushes? I'm too busy sculpting to be tripping out on brushes. Right, but see how nice that is? It keeps the edges and stuff. Yeah. So, does anyone have a link to Sakari Kaku's? Hold on, let's see if I can find it real quick. He has a Gumroad, doesn't he? Yeah, here we go. Wrong one. Oh, he's on ArtStation. Oh, good, good, good. I was looking on Gumroad. I forgot he had an ArtStation. I use a lot of his brushes. His brushes are really tight. I've been using his brushes for, oh my God, 10, 12 years, something like that. It's been a long, well, probably at least 10 years. Feels like 30 years. Yeah, so I think that's really what you just need to do is kind of sit down and really figure out what you want to happen. And when you're getting into this stuff, what I would probably do is like, Let's duplicate Dynamesh. Wait here, let's see, remesh it. You know, kind of get, I'm just going to use clay buildup really fast and say, okay, I want something in here. I know that I want something floating. I'm going to mask this off down here. And so I know, like, from here, I know that I want something kind of in that range, and then I know that I want something kind of doing this. But I want something in front of this. That I see from the front. So, you know, that's roughly the feel you want. So we're going to Dynamesh that. And then just sort of come in. And then I would probably come in. And especially if you want the stuff floating, come in and mask this. Control W. Control W. And then, you know, come back in, boom. And honestly, I would probably just duplicate this, duplicate, come in, take this first batch, delete hidden, and then take the second batch, delete hidden. So now I have these two bulk areas that I like. Come back here, or come to here, wherever that is. And then I would probably undo it until the point where I had just my internal stuff. Right, so now you have these things floating because you know that's your block up, you like that. So now what you can do, hide these, and just concentrate on what you have going on here. Trim front, I'm just gonna So you're like, okay, well, I know that, you know, there's a substructure for a cheekbone, so we're going to make sure that the cheekbone is sort of there, right? So now we're thinking of the skeleton. And then we need something that's going to set up for the mechanics that are there. And then, you know, your sinus passage is coming in, so maybe do something like that. And then this would be sort of where your teeth set in. You figure out where your teeth are. Teeth. Obviously, I'm putting some special care into that. I know that you really appreciate that. And obviously the teeth are in the wrong position, but you get what I'm saying? And then we come back in and we sort of figure out what's going on. So this is the gum line. So I want that to come down. I want that to feel like a little plate there. And then this, let's make this connect here. And then we'll have like the back hinge of where the jaw happens. Okay, so that's my back jaw. So now these coming in are, we're going to go here first. Get this, go to dynamic, thicken, offset 100% negative, so it's all going to the inside. So that front surface is where you want it. And then apply. First thing you're going to do is dynamesh that rascal. And you're going to smooth it out and fill it in. Fill it in. And keep dynameshing it until it's roughly the shape you want it. So now this is the muscle thing pulling one of your lower pulling the lower jaw in, so you want something that's sort of doing that. And sort of just get a rough shape. Dynamashing in there. You know, fiddle futz with it until you want it. Divide it. Sculpt it, figure out what you want it to be. Oh, look, mechanics. And then do the same thing for the next piece. Boom. That's going to be the jawbone or whatever. Oh, look, it's jawbone. And then you can connect it and add it together. But I would sort of build it off in pieces, but I would block up the silhouettes I want to see first. I don't know. Does that help? Cool. Yeah, so I would just step by step block to where you want to be. And think of, don't get too worried about the kinetic details. Get your blocked in shape first. And it'll help you get through the kinetic madness and into some basic block forms. And then you can scroll through it and find some pieces you like, but duplicate it, scroll through it, get it all hairy, get it weird, pick the 3 things you like, mask them out, delete everything else, and now you have these parts. Then you slowly build the parts together, and I think that will help you a lot. Yeah? Any questions? Okay. So now we have all right. No, of course. That's why I'm here, right? So now we have, what happened to big boy? Is this? Oh, here we go. It's so right? I mean, like, these two guys have really similar body frames. Look at that. I always find that. Hi, Angelo. Okay, so here again, when you start getting to these points, before you ever put skin texture on something, make sure your model's done. Important thing. Okay, so here we're going to take clay, and I'm going to put gravity on it. And then we're going to come here, and we're going to do this. What is that? Oh, 50. No wonder. I'm like, what in the hell is going on over there? Okay. Sorry. Super melodramatic. So, because I want to zoom in closer, and being right-handed, I'm stroking this way. I want my gravity to be down. If you'll notice, when I grab gravity, what? I want it pointing in that direction, and that way when I do this, see, it's pointing in that direction. So if you have a direction that you like to sculpt in, just throw your gravity in that direction. Okay, so we're going to smooth this out. And once again, for rendering, all this skin texture is great. If you plan to go into into a print, it's a nightmare because all it does is look like a crap print. Remember that. Okay, so if you notice with gravity, I can come in and do that and see how it feels like the weight is there. I'm only going to do this on one side so we can compare sides. I always do this where I show this, but then I have symmetry on, and then it's like, ah. So. So I did 3 strokes with gravity, right? And look at the difference of how this is setting on the meat as opposed to here. Obviously, I wasn't... Damn it, I keep looking at the camera over here. Camera is not over here. Obviously, this shows the weight much more dramatically. So I can do that with clay tubes as well. Just kicking it up. And you can see that it really does push that that weight. See the directionality? Interesting. What is that about? There we go. And you can see the differences in how it's holding the weight, right? So whenever you're dealing with fat wrinkles, I find gravity is just really one of the best ways to get there. It just, it's more convincing. It just has, that the conviction of weight. But we can turn gravity back off, get it down. Hold on. And once you get in there, you can come back in and really tune it to wherever. So you can see you can fill it out however you want, but have weight there because it's a lot of weight and it's not going to defy gravity. It doesn't have a bra, it doesn't have a thing. Just think about how those intersections are happening. Now let's go to our face here and see what we have. With your scar, I would use SK Trim Twist just because you'll get something that looks a little bit more like it has your ridges. And then when it rolls around the eyelid, if it cut through, it cut through, right? So don't skimp there on the edges. Right. And there it looks like a good surface interruption. And then you can come back in with your standard brush and sort of fill in. I think you had like some little lines in there. But at least it feels like it's actually happened. Did a nice job here, not cutting the lines in, but sculpting them in. But again, I think, once again, just using clay tubes. Hold on. Duplicate. I'm going to quick save because my knife is random when I use. It's like gar. Oh, that's really sad. Come on, you. Do it. Oh my God. Just looking at channels over here. On Twitch, we have 25 people. And this person, Casso, in Rec Room, has 63,000 people. That's crazy. Casio, survive Casio, whatever. It's wild. That's a lot of people watching. I don't get jealous of people who have a lot of viewers, but holy Hannah. I mean, that's crazy talk. Did I just do what I think I did? Wait, let's try that again. I just want more geometry in the face. Do you see how just instead of cutting those lines in, I'm just using clay tubes, and then I'm going through where I want lines to be, and then I fill in around them. And see how that feels, or it becomes, and then I'll just stroke over the whole thing, and that sort of fills it in and homogenizes it into that brow. But it's not just lines cut in anymore, they have weight. And I think that weight's a big deal. Right? And also when you're doing lips, and you cut this in, I tend to still you want to feel like that lip is actually sitting on the other one, not just caving in. Let's see if we can. No. Yeah. And again, what I'm doing here, I mean, your texture was nice. I'm just going for the lip shape here. Again, these are the things that separate, world-class models and good models. And so just having the weight of that lip actually feel like it's sitting on that lower lip, not like you just drew a line there. But see how it now has, some impact. It's sitting on that lip. And now when we come here, we can kind of take this edge down a touch. And then when you do these lines, I don't know what you used, but we'll just... I'm going to be just a touch melodramatic here. Scheisse, come on, I don't want it to be that different. So your lines for your lips are going off the screen or off the lip, right? And so now when you turn this on, see how now, because they're behind that, they're actually going into the top lip. And now you feel like there's a little bit more dynamic going on there. It's actually a top lip sitting on a bottom lip. And the same thing can be said like for like this intersection here. Why am I... Could have sworn my brush sizes were different. It's a simple... And you can see I'm just doing a tiny move that when we take this off, but see now that eyelid is going under the other piece of meat. And just that little subtle stuff are the things that separate it, It's just soft little moments like that make the big differences. He looks great though. Once again, here you might be able to use gravity on some of the jowls and on the forehead. But all in all, looking really good. Okay, it's 8:45. Anybody have any questions about any of that? The other thing about scars that I tend to like, I and once again, if this is for printing, just avoid getting all the texture there. Just if it's for rendering, sure, but if you plan to, so often with scars and things of the such, I'll put the scar in. You know, you get sort of the line you sort of want to go in. I take SK twist, I come in and I separate it. So see, now you have something that has those edges, right? And then what I tend to do is I'll use pinch, big, and I'll come through and I'll sort of pinch it together. And what that does is it gives you a silhouette. It's kind of hard to tell, but when it's pinching, it's also pulling up. So here, we'll just draw it down here. So what we've done is we've come through, we came through, twist sort of gives us this profile, and then we sort of did that. So that's sort of where our crack is. And then when we use pinch, it pulls in and up. So it makes the hole closer together, but then it also pulls them up like this. And that gives you sort of a nice bright edge on that curve that reflects really nicely, and it makes it pop a lot. So that's something to play with. Right, because it'll bring those edges up, and it makes it feel a little bit more like a tear. Right. See those bright edges? Oops. Alrighty. Okay. Would it be worth putting the extra folds behind it? Yes. So, all right, good call. Ears don't usually, even orc ears or troll ears or any of those, they very rarely, what happens is you get a crease here. And then you get a crease here where it meets the head. But then you get like this meat fold here, because this is the ear canal back here. And then, hold on. And then this is the meat flap, or the woggy part of the ear up here. So that canal down there is this wall here. So you usually have sort of this shape in the back, which is corresponding to these scoops in here, right? And then the flappy part is just that. It's flappy meat that's away from that canal. Do I have backface masking turned on? I do. Okay. And so from behind, that's more what an ear looks like than this. Give me a minute. I'm almost done. I'll call you right back. Okay. Bye. My mom. Yeah. Hold on. Let me think. Okay, hold on. Let us do this. Preferences, config, save UI. No, let's go to desktop. This is TSW CUI. TSW CUI 2024. What version? 2024-04. Save. Now let me go to my desktop. Screaming Elon. Monkey Elon. Where are you? Okay, let's do it this way. Desktop. Here's my CUI. So let's go to Dropbox. Where's Dropbox? Oh, there's Dropbox. Oh. Okay, so that is copy link. And then here. There. Enter. I think that link is the one we need. Hey. Okay, so that should be the link to my UI. My mom is harassing me. So I am going to have to run because it is actually things I have to discuss with her. Okay, everyone have a lovely night. I will see you guys next week. And students, I will be there on Saturday. I've been moving, so my office hours on Saturdays have been sort of kind of not great. Okay, hopefully we got to everyone and everything. If not, we'll always get there next week. And yeah, hopefully everyone is good. We're all done. I'm going to stop streaming. All right, kind and gentle folk, I will see you next week. Have a lovely week. And yeah, that's it. Have a beautiful week. Oh, buy ZBrush. Download ZBrush. Watch the other artists on ZBrush live streams because they're awesome. Go to ZBrush Jewelry Workshops. We teach people how to do ZBrush for manufacturing. Juan, what else am I missing? I suck at this closing thing, don't I? I've always sucked at this closing thing. I'm not good at it. Okay. All right, guys. Have a great one.